Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about an old classic, the Fujifilm X20. This is a camera that I've been using back and forth for a while. Initially it was a bit of a letdown, mainly due to my preference for larger sensor cameras. However, once I adjusted my expectations and viewed it among other compact cameras, my perspective changed a lot. Fujifilm X20 offers full manual control, conveniently packaged, a rarity in the compact camera space. It features a built-in zoom, covering 28 to 112mm in full-frame terms, with a variable aperture from f2 to 2.8. Additionally, it has a built-in image stabilization, which is a great asset for handheld shooting. The tactile interaction, such as adjusting the zoom by twisting the lens, mimic that of a more substantial camera. The image quality and the colors produced by the X20 are exceptional. True to the Fujifilm reputation, despite its small sensor size, the X20 manages to deliver vibrant and aesthetically pleasing images. The colors have that distinct Fujifilm vibe, making it quite unique among compact cameras. However, I don't particularly enjoy shooting people with this camera. For close-up portraits, it kind of does the job, but compared to a larger sensor camera, the look and the feel of the images aren't just the same. I prefer using the camera for everyday scenes, documentation, and street photography where I don't focus so much on getting close to people. And the compact size and the portability truly shines here. On the front of the camera you find a physical switch for continuous manual and single autofocus modes, features typically reserved for larger models. The top of the camera boasts a programmable function button, an exposure compensation wheel, and the mode dial that includes 2 custom settings, alongside the standard PSAM options. These custom modes are particularly useful. For instance, if you had an extremely bright scene, I can switch to manual and quickly adjust the settings to create that specific image. Switching over to aperture priority allows me to use the lowest aperture for shallow depth of field, at least as much as you can get on a tiny sensor. The rear of the camera features a modest grip, which is greatly enhanced by adding a JSC thumb grip, additionally intended for the X Pro 3. This addition significantly improves handling, although it does obscure access to the exposure compensation dial slightly. On the left side of the display, you find a play button, a button to change your white balance, your exposure modes, and the drive mode switch for burst shooting and other functions. Other notable features includes a leaf shutter, which allows any speed flash synchronization, and a built-in flash. The optical viewfinder, however, has a unique quirk. It requires power to stay clear, leading to potential long-term reliability questions. In practice, the viewfinder might blur after a battery change when the camera is turned off, clearing up once the camera has been on for a while. Despite lacking a touchscreen, the X20 doesn't suffer for it thanks to its solid grip and comprehensive physical controls. One thing that I'm actually missing on this camera is an on and off switch. You're turning this camera on by turning the lens, which then expand and collapse. This is a nice feature when you're carrying around a camera in your pocket. But if you are the kind of person who wants to keep your camera in a certain focal length and just be able to turn the camera on and off, that is somewhat of an issue on this camera. My workaround for this is by having an auto turn off on a pretty low time. Because the battery is a small one, so it runs out of battery pretty quickly. So you definitely need to carry some extra spares. Performance-wise though, the X20 delivers great. It comes with face detection, which is a nice feature, but giving the wide depth of field on its small sensor, it's not strictly necessarily. Most of the time I use focus and recompose without issues. The 12 megapixel X-Trans2 sensor provides quick focusing thanks to both contrast and face detection autofocus points. High ISO performance is decent, with noise appearing more like rain thanks to the X-Trans sensor, adding a certain aesthetic quality to the images. The highest ISO is 3200, and at that level images look slightly mushy and starts to degrade over ISO 1000. However, for certain situations it's okay. Personally though, I would go for that flash look in low light situations. The ergonomics and the handling of the X20 are superb for a compact camera, even surpassing some larger models. The D-pad acts as a control for either your aperture or the shutter speed, depending on how you set up the thumb wheel. Users can toggle between changing aperture and shutter speed on the thumb wheel simply by pressing it. Personally, I wish that the D-pad control wheel would control the ISO, but I've dedicated the ISO adjustment to the one and only programmable function button. So customizing functions is somewhat limited on this camera, but it's manageable. The price of this camera has increased a lot in recent years. Previously you could find them for almost no money at all, but nowadays expect to pay at least in the lower range of $300 US. And if you want to buy it from a store, the price could be $400, $500, or even $600. Is it worth that much? That's tricky to answer. Personally, I wouldn't pay that much. But if you want a good compact camera with all the adjustment you would typically want, it's a perfect match. Not many options on the market can provide this experience. Solid build, optical viewfinder, and the overall feeling of holding a Fujifilm camera might justify the higher price. In conclusion, the X20 is a capable and enjoyable compact camera that offers significant control and quality unusual for its class. Its build and features make it feel akin to more professional equipment, with the typical limitations of a compact camera. For anyone looking for a robust, everyday carry camera that offers a taste of Fujifilm's renewed image quality and color rendition, the X20 is an excellent choice. If you have any questions about this camera or want to share your experience, feel free to comment below. Thanks for watching and have a great day. If you want to see more camera related videos, click here to subscribe and click here to see a full playlist with other camera reviews. Take care.